American Community 104.7 FM, AM 1350, WLOU Louisville.
No, you don't have to. Just pull the mic down.
I don't need this damn shit. I go by real fast. You're going to take me 30 minutes nap. You don't need me to
I cannot stand Jay Has.
Girl, you a good mom. I'm speaking to the waffles with apples on it.
We on the amped up show. They already amped up.
Girl, I was a damn you good, man.
My kind of show up in here.
It's rice in the morning.
Not rice in the morning. What's wrong with you?
Is Erica in Hamilton's here?
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Amped Up. I am your host, Erica Denise, and I am so excited to be here today. I'm so glad that the weather cleared up. It was so dreary the past few days.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. The sun is out. I am relaxed and rejuvenated because on last week, I was able to travel with my girlfriends for one of my girlfriend's 40th birthday.
A whole bunch of them.
It
It was a girls trip.
It was a real live girls
Yes, it
trip.
was.
We went to Pompano, Florida,
Oh.
which is kind of a laid back city in Florida. It wasn't really hype, but then we traveled an hour or so to Miami one night and was able to kind of chill out on the beach and eat good. And Jay has his
Drunk good.
He saw my food that I posted. I had surf and turf. Is that what you said?
Yes, you did, honey.
Surf and turf. Yes, it was so good to just get away. You know, sometimes we just need to take
You
a
needed
break. I did, you know. And it wasn't even about partying and all of that. It was just a space. We got an Airbnb and it had a pool. You know, we just kind of sat back and relaxed and just, you know, unwound a little bit, you know. Took the stress off that has been building in all of us this year. You know, it's just been a stressful year. And I was just grateful to be able to share my girl Makara's 40th birthday. I'm also amped up because there are so many things that's happening with Amped. First, let's talk about the Dream Maker Awards. That is coming up here in June. Now, if you want to donate and help Amped and the scholars, then you can go to ampedlouisville.org to make a donation. Hold on, I'm trying to find out when the Dream Makers Award is. Y'all, forgive my lack of preparation. I had it on my phone, and then Jay Has started talking, and I got distracted. I'm blaming it on Jay Has.
Blame it on him.
It is okay. Just go to ampedlouisville.org, and you can find out information about the Dream Maker Awards. Also, our friends at Dasha Barber. They are having live entertainment every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so please go out and support our friends at Dasha Barber. Also support our friends down at Joe's Palm Room. They have entertainment on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, Erica, why are you shouting out Dasha Barber and Joe's Palm Room? You asked that question?
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
did.
Thank you for
Thank
asking.
you.
It's because Erica Denise Entertainment is managing the entertainment at both of those locations.
Yay! Congratulations!
Where am I from?
Jay Hayes, you a hater.
I
What? I ain't seen you at neither one of them.
You was out the stairs a couple weeks ago.
You sure would. You know what?
Sweating.
Sweating hot.
You're so silly.
No, but please support those establishments and be patient with people, especially business owners.
Yes.
Black business owners are really trying.
Yes.
If you all could see the monthly bill that
Lord
these
Jesus.
establishments have to pay, whether y'all come in the doors or not,
Yes.
you might offer a little bit more grace to people
And
that
support.
are trying.
And support.
You know, you might want to, so just support those establishments. Support all of our Black-owned businesses in Louisville because they are absolutely trying to bring you quality entertainment. I'm trying to bring you quality entertainment, and they are trying to bring you quality experiences with their food and their venues. So I am so excited about the guests that we have on the show today.
Yay!
We have, I was going to say Mr. and Mrs. Tanya.
No.
But
No.
y'all are siblings.
Siblings. I am the oldest.
You're the
And
oldest.
I'm the baby.
He's the baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are
And we
the
got one in the
oldest
middle.
baby.
Let me, because she's probably listening. She said she'll call up here if we didn't mention her.
Uh-oh.
She's the middle child,
Go on
Don
and
Wright.
shout her
Yes, it's 3 of us.
Okay. And it was 3 of us as well.
Yes,
And my
yes.
brother has gone on to glory.
Yes.
And so I am so excited to see you, brother and sister, together.
Yes.
Cherish the moments that you have
Absolutely.
with each other because you just never know.
Absolutely.
You never know. So, Tanya
Yes.
White
Tanya
and
White.
Joe White.
Yes.
Joe, I went to school with your wife.
Oh,
Renee.
really?
Did you?
Yes, Mel. She went to Mel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
she came
Small
out.
world.
I think I came out in 01. She came out in 02. I think she
02,
was
yeah.
younger. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was younger.
Yeah. Look
Uh-huh.
at that.
Yeah, you didn't know that. She didn't tell you. Renique, and she's back there too. Why you didn't tell your husband we went to school together?
I mean, I seen y'all's embrace when we walked in. I was like, oh, y'all know each other?
See, you know what?
You know, either you was hugging or Green Robin, one of the two. So, you know, so.
Tell her check her purse. 'Cause I
Check your purse. Check your purse.
might have got a wallet.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, we did. We Bulldogs.
Okay.
So what school did y'all go to?
I am a Catholic schoolgirl. I went to Mercy Academy, class of 1988.
88. Come on.
34
here.
years.
Yes.
I know I still look
And
good, though.
You do. You look amazing. And you have on the male colors.
Oh, yes.
Yes. But
Yes.
it's Vikings,
It's
though.
Minnesota Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings. Okay.
Yeah, well, you know, I went to Butler, so I'm not the most friendliest towards Male High School, which is cool. But my mother went to Male, so
Yes,
you
she
know,
did.
and my wife,
Okay.
so they have a special place. But yeah, I'm Butler High School 2001, so
Okay.
just left Butler as a graduation. So shout out to class of 2022.
Yes.
Just left that graduation, so it's kind of crazy being there 21
Years
years later
later.
and seeing
Yes.
being in the same building. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, anybody can, but Mel does. So we'll forgive you.
Well, we were yesterday. We were at Manuel's graduation.
Oh, God.
So she did have to sit through that. 451 names.
Oh, Lord.
You know what?
They need to split those up into two.
We
two
don't talk
ceremonies.
about Manuel in here, okay? Now, I let you pass with Butler, okay? Well, we let you sit here with Butler. But now he done brought Manuel in here, and we are just absolute rivals. We don't talk about Manuel.
That's why I went to Catholic
She
school.
clapped yesterday.
She clapped.
She clapped. Yes.
Your wife clapped?
Yes.
At a Manuel graduation?
She was smiling.
Oh, no.
Smiling. We had a good time.
Smiling and everything?
was
Where's
a
she
great
at?
time.
Bring her in.
Renee, you've been something.
Renee, come on. Renee, get my office.
Yeah.
She in there
It was a
clapping?
good time. Stood up.
Stood in that. What?
Right.
Well, first of all, why was y'all in there?
We got good close friends whose son graduated.
Oh,
yesterday.
no.
And she was excited. I think she shed a tear.
And cried? Oh, no. Bulldogs mount. Get her out of here.
Yeah.
She's
Hilarious.
a traitor.
Yeah.
She is a traitor.
Yeah. No, I was one of her dear close friends, Alicia. Her son
Okay.
graduated, so they're family to
Okay.
it. So you're always gonna have something that kind of pulls you to the other side.
They get a pass. It's all right.
I'm trying to figure out if my kids ever go to UK, like what I would do.
How you would feel about that?
Yeah. I mean, I drop them
Lord,
off
I'm
at
praying
the,
now. I'm
Shelby
praying
County line
now
and let them go
that
the
it's
rest
not
of the
going
way.
to happen.
See, so you went to U of L.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I went to U of L, too.
Die-hard U of L fan.
Yeah, he's out.
Okay.
I'm really praying that they offer him a job at U of L somewhere.
Is that a possibility? Is that what we working towards?
They know what's best for us. Not at all. I probably wouldn't be able to, remove my fandom from my
Yeah.
job.
Oh, no.
so
Oh, okay.
But you get the perks of going to all the events.
they probably don't want me
See, you supposed to be working, but you in the stands. They like,
Yeah.
where's Joe at?
Oh, yeah.
with my laptop,
With-
Right.
like looking.
Analyzing. Listen, we're going to have to come back and tell about that. He watches the game, rewatches, analyze, and we got to sit there and listen.
I don't understand that. Why?
Woo-wee! Renee, tell the truth.
I enjoy my team. There's sometimes, as a fan, you feel like you may know a little bit more than the coach. But, you don't. But when you're watching certain things, you're like, that doesn't look right. Right. When you're watching the game, you're so enamored in it. And it's like, let me calm down a little bit. Let me go back and rewatch it. Was that what I seen? And a lot of times, yes, that's exactly what I seen.
But then what do you do about it when you see something that...
Oh, he breaks it down. We have to listen.
I tell Renee.
Like we're on.
Oh,
we're like
no.
And she sits there.
Oh
bless
no,
her
and he
heart.
tells his children. I wish I could put a video where he's
Well, my
breaking
son
it
is
down.
very much like me. Like I mean, Renee, like literally a mini me.
Yes, she did.
And he sits there and watches it. Well, shout out to his baseball team. He has actually a game going on right now that we're not there, but he loves baseball. And the problem is, you know, he watches so much of it, and he's starting to develop like bad habits. I'm like, son, you can't do that yet. And
So he's mimicking you, though.
Yeah, he's me.
So last week we had a therapist on the show. You need some help?
We all need help.
I'm just playing.
We all need help.
I'm just
Not with
playing.
that. That's not gonna help. Nothing's
Yeah,
gonna
I
help.
don't think
Don't
anything will help that. No.
Well, the good thing is you found something that you're passionate about.
Oh, yes.
You know,
More than
that
passionate.
you love.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I watch a lot of sports. Like, I watch more sports than people, you know. I watch a dice tournament.
No.
You know, a blood drive.
With U of L.
Yeah.
Really?
With U of L.
You over there.
Yikes.
Everything. Every sport that they
So you know the
have.
fighting song?
What's the
You know, not
problem?
word for word, but I know the tune.
Oh,
And he's serious.
I know it starts with all hell thee, you are veil.
Who knew they had a fight song? Who
Well,
knew?
Look,
look,
and
they
I-
play it every time we score.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think I've ever watched a game before
Oh, don't tell him that,
in my
Eric.
life.
Don't tell.
my God.
Y'all don't laugh at me. I'm ashamed.
Oh.
I have
I
not.
watch the game. Male high school.
But why are you looking away? Look how he's looking down.
Cause he's for real. You ain't never watching U of L game, and you live in Louisville. That is. We're gonna have to take your card away.
Gone to UL.
I have
All the
not.
male greats. Where's the support of your alumni?
You know what? I've been to the a theater program at U of L. That's my jam.
Okay.
I do theater. Does that count? Look at his face.
Nah. I mean,
Dang.
theater. Yeah, only reason I went to a theater show because I had to do it for class.
For class, I remember that too. Yep.
See, so you know what? I taught a theater class last summer with the JEB, the JEB Richmond Center. You know what I'm talking about? It's down off River Road.
Yeah.
And it was nothing but young boys in there that was in the JEB for basketball camp.
Oh.
They brought a theater class to them.
Okay.
And what they realized was that a lot of the stuff that they do on the court, we have to do in theater. You have to memorize your plays,
Yeah.
right? You have to work with your ensemble, which is your
Yes.
team.
Absolutely.
So if your teammates aren't on point, then you're not going to be on
Right.
point, right? And that's
Yeah.
the same thing in theater.
Hey,
so you
we
have to
learned something
realize.
new.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? See?
Now make the connection.
Make the connection.
Cause he was about to kill you.
Yeah, I was careful. He was like, Renee, go ahead and unfriend her, block her.
Start the car. Start the car. We'll get to the restaurant a little early.
Yes.
Wow.
So let's talk about why we are here today.
Yes.
Y'all done wrote a book together.
Yes.
Tell us about, well, before you talk about your book, you have a publishing company.
Yes.
Tanya.
S&T Publishing.
S&T Publishing. So how long have you owned this publishing company? And before you tell me how long, what made you leave corporate America? Were you in corporate America?
I was in
first?
Jefferson County Public Schools.
JCPS.
20 years.
What was you
Today I gave my resignation a year ago.
Did you?
A year ago today.
Come on here.
No regrets.
No, come on. Ain't looking back.
No.
So what made you leave JCPS? to start a
Okay,
publishing?
so I have to tell you the backstory. 20 years I worked for JCPS. I was started as a special education teacher, 13 years, and then I ended as a school counselor. I was trying to elevate my career and go to assistant principal and then principal. Well, a lot of rejection, a lot of everything else. And so I was dating the love of my life. Everybody knows my journey who follows me on social media. And so January of 2021, I was like, it's time for me to leave. And we had that talk. He's like, yeah, I want you to look for jobs in Indianapolis because that's where you live. And so literally I started looking for jobs there and I landed a job within 4 to 6 weeks.
Wow.
In the school system up there, moved with him. He was going to start our life. I was going to be Mrs. Jones by now on June 6th of last year. In June 11th, the doctors gave us some bad news that there was nothing else that they can do with his prostate cancer. And it was they gave him 6 to 12 months to live. And he died in 6 weeks. So
Oh, my
to
God.
say I was devastated, I call it peaceful devastation. But because before then, my dad died when I was 26. Was 26? Yeah, 1996, 26. And then our mom died in 2005. So when you lose both your parents, especially the woman who gave you life, you develop another perspective about life and grief. And you can conquer anything. And so going through all that and absolutely devastated, but we had the best relationship. We met a month before the pandemic. The world shut down. And so most of our relationship was spent getting to know each other without the superficiality of going out and dressing up. We had deck dates. He cooked. He was a cook, good cook. And so we had those conversations. So fast forward to last year, I was starting and going to be, I was like, oh, I'll finally get to be a principal. And then that happened. So I relocated. I was like, God, I'm getting ready to go home and be a recluse. And, because I got to talk to you about some things, And I was like, I'm not going. Everybody said, oh, you going back to JCPS? No. I felt that God released me from that. Period. And so the week before we got the devastating news, God gave me the idea for this book, The Battle Behind My Smile. And I told him, he's like, ooh, that's a deep title. And I was sitting on this couch after his funeral. I was like, Lord, I'm not doing this book. Lord said, yes, you are. And so I was like, That's
how we talk to him.
So when I got home 2 weeks later, I'm doing a little flyer, making calls for, calling for authors. And then voila, I'm like, Lord, give me 10. 52 people signed up for the call. 26 were on the call. 20 signed their contracts, and 18 finished the process. And one of those 18s were my baby brother. Yes! So it's all about the battle, because when we met, Stefan, that was the first thing he said, oh my God, that beautiful smile. And he had a great smile too. And so we always talked about, when we looked at pictures, you don't know what was going on for real when I smiled. And so that's where it came to me. And so launching into full-time entrepreneurship was something I always planned to do, but circumstances and all that made the time now.
So did he know at the point that y'all met that he had cancer?
Yeah, he had been battling and overcoming for 14 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's what we said. It was like, we finally meet each other, had the best relationship. Family loved me. My family loved him. And he was like, God, this is not fair. But yeah, and literally survived the pandemic without a vaccine.
Wow.
And then that happened when officially moved. So, but what you have to do is cry, grieve the way you grieve, but ask God to give you some clarity so you won't lose your mind. Because had it not been for me working on this project reluctantly, I didn't want to do it, but this really saved me, because when I got the stories from the other authors, it encouraged me.
Yeah.
And helped me through my grieving process.
Okay. So walk us through the book. What kind of stories are we going to read?
Okay, so everybody thinks just because it's Tanya White and Friends and I'm a female, that it's all for females. No, we have 4 mighty men in here that kick us off. And that section is called Manversations. And they pour their hearts out about feelings that men have, but they seldom get to share. And so my brother talks about the battle of having daddy dialogue, because we had a great father, and my dad taught us about life. Alan talks about the battle of becoming the man God created you to be. Another talks about flying through setbacks, and the other gentleman talks about having insecurity. And we don't think that most men are insecure and battle that. But Peter Witt talks about that. And then we have other stories about the battle of bipolar faith. We talk about, growing up in church and we having faith, but when our circumstances are not what we want to, we go through that battle. Battle of domestic violence, addiction, church trauma. And then my story is about, of course, the battle to not give up while grieving. So I walked through fresh grief writing this. I was really going to write something else when God gave me this. And then he's like, oh, I got a story for you. And so, so everybody talks about this. It's really heartfelt of things that you go through in life.
Okay. So, Joe, talk about your portion in the book, Daddy Dialogue. What is that?
That's so like my sister mentioned, my father was terrific. And like what people know about me, I always say my dad taught me, like, the thing we always say, he raised us as if he wasn't going to be here. And so there were certain things he would teach us from a responsibility standpoint, not dependent on people to do stuff for you, even though, yes, you could have a great woman or a great support system, but there's going to come a time when you have to do things yourself. And so, I just 6, 7, 8 years old, that's just what he taught me. And then I was,
and he was ironing his own clothes at then.
Yes.
I mean, ironing with the spray starch and the crease.
Second grade.
6?
Yeah.
Second grade.
Come on here.
I remember standing up in class in second grade, looking down at my pants like, man, I didn't iron these good enough.
Oh, wow.
Standing in front of class, embarrassed,
In second grade.
Right,
Yeah.
and nobody noticed.
Yeah,
Nobody
noticed with me. Nobody noticed with me. I said, son, I'm like, Joe, come on, man. What we doing here? But just, I think with me, I always felt unique, losing my dad at 13 and then my mother at 22. So a lot of my friends always kind of looked at me like, man, how are you like dealing? And I learned at an early age that I was a walking testimony. I didn't choose this, and one of my closest friends always told me like, man, you've never complained about the hand you were dealt. And like T mentioned, when you deal with certain things, there's a certain perspective on life that you have. Like I watched my mother have to be strong when my father was in the hospital, having a clear mind to make certain decisions, kind of a personal battle. When my son was born, there were some complications and things went like crazy.
Quickly.
And I remember some of Renique's family, like, man, you're so calm, but I was like, in such situations like this, you can't make emotional decisions. You gotta clear your mind and just understand like things happen. And so in my chapter, I discuss just what my father taught me and kind of how I go about being a father myself, how I father my daughter, how I father my son, and just take the things that he taught me and just, the perspectives I give them in life. And, I said in the one line in there, he taught me more in 13 years than a lot of fathers teach their sons in 50. Yeah. And so I just try to, go through my own journeys in life of, pulling back what he taught me and just trying to apply that myself. So my sister been pulling me for years trying to write a book, and she finally got me. And, it was therapy. It was good to get out. And I think people enjoy not only, my section, but all the other sections in the book as well, because it's, again, from the heart. And, we just trying to give light to, again, what's behind that smile, what's really going on with you.
So who would directly benefit from reading your chapter? And I just pulled this because I'm seeing these media questions that y'all provided.
Yes, of course.
Come on.
This is not my first rodeo. This is my 8th book.
Have some questions.
This is my 8th book. I've been doing this since 2005, so y'all know.
Come on.
Yeah.
So, yes. Who would
benefit? You asking
directly
me?
benefit?
Men, women who are, like it says, it's like 18 mini stories in this book. So if you're battling grief, you will connect with my story. If you're battling the fact of even men who are not with the mother of their children, you can benefit from reading my brother's chapter of having daddy dialogue, because he mentions in there, whether you with the mother or not, it is your responsibility, because having healthy daddy dialogue creates healthy children. Healthy children create a healthy world. And so just reading that. If you're going through church trauma, Pastor Nicole's chapter in there, if you're going through feeling worthy, LaShonda's chapter in there, and she talks about how her battle started with a school counselor telling her that she wasn't going to be anything anyway, so he didn't have time to talk to her. And that set in motion over 30 years of feeling inadequate and insecure. So everybody will benefit, because we're talking about real life issues in here, from domestic violence to addiction to flying through setbacks when you plan your life and life is not going the way you plan. And so I encourage everybody to get this book, have some book talks, do some book clubs. And then we would love to come to your book club, but everybody will benefit. Everybody. If you're starting a business, we have an author talking about, life shows up regardless
Yes, it
of
does.
what business plans you have. Life shows up, and how you have to persevere through the struggles of life.
Absolutely.
And continue to launch and bloom your business.
Yeah. So what is the writing process like? How do you sit down and say, okay, I'm going to write this book, but what are the steps to getting it from your mind to the paper?
So I live in a land called Tanya land. And so my steps are different. Everything I write, I've been writing since 2005, and I really launched my writing career after our mom died. I was always a book lover and loved writing in high school, but really it launched in after our mom died. And so the writing process for me, I have to write from what I'm going through or I've been through. And so I have to sit down and process everything. It's not just writing words. I don't write words on paper. I pour out my heart, and that takes a lot of time because my goal is to, when you read that, you can say, I connect with her. I've been where she's been. And even in the worst case scenario, if Tanya can do it, so can I. And so the writing process is very interpersonal. It's interpersonal. You got to pour out your heart, and you cannot rush. If you haven't blocked a writer's block, it's for a reason. Maybe you have to go. I usually go when I have a writer's block. I go somewhere and say, okay, something I need to learn before I can finish writing this section. And usually it's always a situation that I'm put into, even at the Walmart.
Yeah, come on.
If I'm writing a book on patience, Lord, I go to the Walmart. And Lord has me in a situation where I gotta be patient. Yep. Because I wrote about something about that. And so, you have to go through real world experience and see if what I wrote about is what I'm doing. So that is my Tanya writing process. Yeah. And with the co-authors, I just told them to write from their hearts. Yeah. Like literally, me and my brother have conversations all the time. And so mostly, he don't know, but I'm jotting down. And either through memory or everything. Right. And so I'm going to tell you I'm going to let him tell about his writing process.
My chapter actually, this has been, materializing for years. Like, so it's crazy because her follow-up question, she just called me randomly. She's like, the other day you used this line, you said this and that. Can you elaborate on it? And, I would go back and talk about it like, this is what I meant, blah, blah, blah. And then
she writing it down.
Yeah. Then it took me a while to catch on. I'm like, you're going to get me do this book. Like, wait a minute.
And then I sent you your chapter, didn't I?
And I'm sitting there reading through it. I said, I'll be John Brown. I said, I said all this.
Oh, he said it all.
And that's kind of, cause like the difference between her and I, she was a book lover, but I'm a math guy. I didn't like reading, didn't like writing. So this process for me worked because I do enjoy talking. And when I get to talking, sometimes wise words, that's what my father put in me. Like, I remember my sister telling me I was 6 years old in church and having grown conversations with
the old deacons. We're like, where's CJ at?
I'm giving
the old
advice.
soul.
Yeah,
He's just sitting there, and we thinking the deacon's talking to him. No, he is talking to the deacon, and the deacon is listening to a 6. I'm like,
so you was one of those young boys that looked grown when they 6. Like he been
he was on his own clothes.
Like you coming in with fresh creases.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Talking to the deacon.
The cleanest crease.
You wasn't playing with the kids.
My son has creases in his sleeves right now.
You know what?
And he wants cologne. Daddy, can I smell good like you? Absolutely, son.
I love it.
Absolutely. But but the process was very encouraging because I think this is the start of something more. Because as some of my close, and I have some great friends around me, like, and that's what I talk about in there, keeping good people around you. And, my chapter will resonate with a lot of my friends. My best friend, he read it, and, he had more questions about what he read. He's like, man, I thought I knew you, but I have a lot more questions. But it just encourages them to, think things through and see things in a different perspective. And, I'm hoping to expound that amongst a few of my friends. Maybe you all want to get it out.
Yes, they will.
So the Battle Behind My Smile can be found and purchased where?
It can be found and purchased on Amazon.com and is in Kindle edition and paperback edition. If you know one of the 18 authors, you can go to their page and they're selling it as well. But yes, go to Amazon.com. We're trying to become an Amazon bestseller and get that gold seal. So if you don't know any of the authors, you can get it on Amazon.com. The Battle Bag for $20 in a paperback and $4.99 in Kindle.
In the Kindle.
And this is going to be a series. I want this to be like Chicken Soup for the Soul. We all got a battle. We got a battle behind our smile when we're trying to launch a business and women's issues. And I'm going to get some of his friends to do more of the millennial male perspective because it's a whole lot. But yes, this is the start of something. And I love writing. I love birthing new authors. And like you said, I'm very creative. Because I'm a special ed teacher, so I know different when I meet people what their learning style is and how they respond to certain things. So if you don't like my brother said, if you don't like to sit down and write, you could tell me.
And then you can write.
Yes, I'm anointed to do that.
Come on here.
Yes.
Yes. So that's the thing. So, because I can talk it out.
Yes.
And then to have somebody just write it for me would be great.
In your voice.
In my voice, because, I mean, I have been trying to write this book for years.
Yes.
And every time I sit down to write, it's a writer's block. And my friend Aisha, who is a ghostwriter, is like, well, it's because it wasn't time yet.
It's not time.
You know, because you're still adding more to the story. So sometimes when you have writer block, it's just to just pause a little bit.
Your friend is correct.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not... And you don't even know. God knows that, okay, I got to take her through this. I got to take him through this.
Absolutely.
To come from a more authentic place.
Exactly. So I'm glad to know that you do that.
Yes, I do.
I may be reaching out to you. So
yes.
Look, I can
S&T Publishing.
Yes. I can just talk and you write it.
Listen, I've done it for more people than you know in this city.
Okay. Come on here. Well, it is 12:30. We are running out of time. Do we have time for rapid fire real quick? Jay has? Real quick. Don't think too hard. Just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Joe, what is your biggest fear?
Biggest fear? Man. That's a great...
Quick.
Dogs.
Tanya, what makes you angry?
Stupid people.
Amen. Joe, what motivates you to work hard?
My family.
Tanya, who is your hero?
My parents.
We'll be back. Same time, same station next week. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Erica Denise.
The Battle Behind My Smile can be found on Amazon.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and I'm out here petting Darla.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about that. I was scared of dogs too until Stefan's dog got hurt. I'm a dog mama. Thank you.
Right.
Listen, y'all amped up for real. I love it. A great interview begins with a great host. And listen, when Erica Denise posts on social media that she's looking for people, y'all better jump on it. Sign up. This is the best, the funnest interview I had.
Yay!
And my brother, you did great. He was like nervous.
We got booked through July 31st.
I told him.
But it's open.
I told him.
Open back up in July.